Hello, my lovely 8th graders. Happy Friday. I'm super happy to be back with you all this week after a little time I had to take off. I missed you all so much, and I'm just super happy to get back to learning. We only have 4 weeks left. That is so much learning we have to get done in such a short amount of time, okay? So I have a super fun lesson for you today, so let's get to it. All right, you guys, so jumping straight into our lesson today, our learning objective is students will be able to create scientific models using Google Slides. We were looking through a lot of your feedback, a lot of your self-reflections, and we just kind of noticed that we needed to go over how to use Google Slides, all right? We create a lot of scientific models in science, and so what better way with this distance learning to use Google Slides, all right? So today's gonna be like a tutorial of how to use Google Slides as well as practicing creating some of these scientific models, okay? So our first thing is we all know and we're all very familiar with Google Docs, okay? We use it all the time in ELA. Now we've even started using it in science, even more so with distance learning. So today we're gonna be learning another application Google offers, which is Google Slides. Okay, Google Slides is very interactive and it's fun to use. We want to teach you how to use it. That way we can start using it for more of our assignments. All right, you guys, anytime you open up a Google Slides presentation, it's going to look something like this. It won't always be blank because sometimes we'll already have stuff there for you. But when you open it up, this is exactly what you're going to see. Right here in the center of the page, you have your display slide. This is a slide that you are going to be currently working on. It's always going to show up here. If you go to a next slide, that's the slide that's going to show, and so on and so on. The next section is going to be the slide layout. So over here to the left, you will see all the slides in the presentation here. Whether you have 5 slides or whether you have 50, they're all going to show up on that left-hand side. Up towards the top, this should look very familiar to you because it's similar on Google Docs. This is called your menu bar, okay? This is going to be all the different tools that you can use on your Google Slides. This is the toolbar zoomed in, okay? I'm going to show you specifically the ones that we're going to be using for our assignments. You have your undo button right here. This is if you ever need to undo something, okay? So whether you moved something on accident or you deleted it, you're going to want to click the backwards arrow button. That's to undo whatever you just did. The next thing you have is your zoom control, okay? Sometimes on Google Slides, it's a little hard to see or it's maybe too close. Google Docs is very different in this sense, all right? But Google Slides, you're gonna have to zoom in or zoom out if you ever need to. That's gonna be your eyeglass icon. The next thing is going to be the font style, okay? Only use fonts that we can easily read, all right? If it's in some fancy scripts, cursive looking lettering, you may not want to use that, okay? You may want to use that on your own time. But when we are doing assignments, we want you to use fonts that are easy to read. The next is going to be the font size. Again, the same with zooming in and zooming out on Google Slides. You may need to use a bigger size font because size 12, like we use on Google Docs, isn't always going to be the biggest font size that you can see. You may need to use a bigger one. And then the last thing you're going to use is what's in this area right here. So we have bold, which is the uppercase B. You have the italicized, which is the slanted I. You have the underline, which is the U with a line underneath. You have the A, which is going to be your changing the font color. And then you have your highlighter, which looks like a tiny little highlighter, all right? All right, you guys, this next part, this is what I really want you to pay close attention to because this is the main things you are going to do with Google Slides, all right? So right now I'm going to escape out of presentation mode and I'm going to show you what exactly we're going to be doing because this is going to help you in your independent practice, all right? So right over here, you can see the slide that I'm currently on right here, and over to the left, it's highlighted for me. I am currently on slide 7. All right. To go to the next slide, you can press down with your down arrow on your keyboard, or you can simply just click to the next slide. All right. So this is the slide, and this is what it's going to look like when you are working. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to type on a text box on Google Slides. All right. So we have a question. What is your name? When you are typing on a text box, you're going to hover over the box. You're going to double click on it until you see your cursor come up, and then you're going to start typing. And that's it. Okay? Then you click out of it, and that's it. You type your answer, and then you're done. All right? The next thing you're going to do is you're probably going to have to drag and drop on a lot of these models and a lot of these problems, okay? So this is going to show you how to drag and drop. So this is just a money question, all right? We all know how to count money, okay? This is called Show Me the Money. You're going to drag and drop the correct amount onto your onto this blank area right here, okay? So we need to make sure we have $1.67. So I'm going to drag one of my dollars. All I'm doing is clicking on whatever it is I need, holding it, dragging it, and dropping it, okay? Click, hold, drag, drop. Click, hold, drag, and drop. And that's it. And that's how you drag and drop. $1.67, okay? Last thing, you guys, before we end today, you're going to be practicing this because your next CFA, you are going to have to do some dragging and dropping, do some typing, all on a Google Slides, all right? So now that we've shown you how to use Google Slides, we want you to try practicing on your own. Your assignment is to practice using Google Slides by answering some scientific questions on content you've learned in 7th grade. Okay, so you're really going to have to think back to 7th grade and what you learned in order to answer some of these questions, all right? Your assignment is located in Google Classroom under today's assignment, okay? So really what today is for, it's to help you learn how to use Google Slides as well as review content you already learned, okay? Super important, super fun, all right? If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. You got this.